We are live. All right, this is drmike.org. On the Zoom, it would be on the name tag, drmike.org. I'm your friendly social scientist here to talk about relative issues of concern in my bedroom. That would be a good corner for the alien DJ segment. And this is kind of going to be a bit like that because we're going to be talking about the hypnosis of society. So I'm registering myself as a social scientist. It's really sort of what's on my mind right now. Well, the goal, at least for me, and it's a lofty one, there's no question about it, is how do we move the needle forward so we reconnect as a community? Because that was my dissertation, communityconversations.com. And I've been guilty online about getting mad about, as I'm sure you have too, about some people's attitudes and their beliefs. It's like, oh my God, what's going on in our society? So I'm concerned and I want to take what's called community action. I really want to study what this quality is. I am an observer, and as you are too, you can probably agree that we need to change things. So front and foremost, it's like, let's just get right into it. Well, community conversations would be that holding place from whatever spectrum, side of the aisle, part of the brain that's operating or not, to be able to come together, to be able to relate to each other. Now, I speak primarily right now as a social scientist, but also as a concerned citizen that wants to be a bit more civic-minded and engaged in this CARES model of community action research that's going to evolve our intelligence so we can have a desirable, sustainable future. So it's lofty, but it's a big goal, right? So we have to start somewhere, and having kind, considerate community conversations does reflect some level of consciousness, at least consideration. So this will be controversial because obviously I see that we need to come together on some level to take things seriously. So community conversations could host a variety of these type of blogs on democracy. This is the summer of the 25th anniversary of our beautiful nation. We're challenged as a country. So we can look at the fall towards the midterms and really have a great summer of fun and re-love. We'll call it summer of re-love for us to come back together and celebrate our heritage from what era or decade you cometh. Here we are. And it's a phenomenon that things are going on right now. And that's the first plug for my book. It's a future book called Phenomenology, phenombook.com, P-H-E-N-O-M book.com, about phenomenology, which is the study of the structures of our experiences, man. How do you cut it up and divide it into the pie so you have a whole brain analysis, as Dr. Judd would say? And part of it might be celebrating our 250th anniversary and winning a free tie. And there would be podcasts to sort of facilitate these conversations. And what are my qualifications? I got me a resume. You see, it says engagement engineer. And this is dated 2019, so it's about time. Either way, I used to present myself. It's true, it's back to 2019 is when I got the doctorate. So I'm still evolving these ideas, but don't you think it's time and you want to have a consideration for what would be a leap in consciousness, quantum intelligence, whatever it would be that would allow us to design a desirable, sustainable future? So we have to look at what it takes to start. So this week for myself is the goal to outreach, to connect through 500 advocacy groups through email. Whether or not the emails are accurate and we can get the system to actually email, we're trying for the last couple of days, actually since last week. We're challenged on the DNS, man. No clue. It's something to do with the server. But anyway, we'll get it worked out, and then they'll be invited to a community conversation. And out of that is a big picture potential, right? So there's networking, understanding each other's needs, and the formation of some kind of committee that we'll call our first community conversation. Not everybody will want to be on board with everything that we're talking about because we're envisioning protest picnics, sharing polls, where we're at, and what's our interests are, what our concerns, bringing in experts into a podcast, and having actual networking events and get-togethers, both online and off. And for the operation to expand and systemize, we need a real committee, so you might as well join it. And it's a commitment, right? So it's a commitment for exploring the CARES model of community action research, and it's a form of sociology or social psychology exploring the phenom, which is here and now, and that's PHENOM book. And this CARES model would be a book, but the one that's coming out next week is based on this. So I know some people are like that, or they think I'm attacking MAGA. It's like, it must be done, right? If the laws have been broken. So go to impeachtrump.org to learn about that and support the cause in any way that you can, because it's an urgency and it brings us together in civic mindedness. And we can use this as an opportunity to go, oh, we need to do something and be something. And we can turn historically the summer of relove and our 250th anniversary is something that we can remember, that we moved the needle and we made a difference, in our society, in our world. Can we do it? The opportunity is knocking, and there's no better in the present time. So just go to, and you can win one of these too. And we're giving away t-shirts and all that. You don't believe me? I'm going to show you t-shirts next, and I'm going to jump off. But it is what it is, right? So we have impeachtrumpnow.org, and you can sign the petition, right? Just go to impeachpetition.com. Depending on where this is posted, we'll share links. Otherwise, get involved. We're happy to donate. We're going to have a giveaway. So this should be an incentive. If we really believe in we the people, we should be able to come together, talk about relevant social issues. And for those who could kind of gamify it, they go, man, I'm into this. Let's make it happen. Let's make the Summer of Relove history. Whether it's a No Kings March or some kind of activity, having a potluck, talking about relevant social issues is a community conversation. And you can go to communityconversations.com to learn more. Communityconversations.com. So it's a big picture strategy. We need you involved. Change will not happen, particularly if you talk about transformation. It doesn't occur without you. And part of it is pretenses. I understand we're labeling things, we're divided. We need to figure out a way to seal or heal the division. And conversation can do it. It doesn't mean that every time it's going to go smooth, but we ought to be able to create you could say a container or canister of whoopee where people can feel safe, and it can be fun and entertaining. Sometimes it can be food. Other times it's scientifically aligned to a focus group. It's like, what are you guys feeling? And you check in with your friends that way. And that's going to reignite a friendship fellowship movement, because we need to redefine friendship in the modern age. It's just not a Facebook like or having a follower, particularly if they're kind of the stocky kind, right? We want to be able to enable things so we can finally freely talk again and break through whatever the constraints are. Now, it may not always be what we want, but progress is at hand, or at least the opportunity given the time we're in. So we could talk about a cycle of madness between the midterms and whatever else is going on in the news. We need to be able to come together and go, hey, we care about the world that we're in. And I write about put two German words together called Weltslosh, which means dwelling in the wealth of the world, and the slosh is the dwelling. And in my interpretation, it's the quality of the existence of what we've built in the dwelling that we're living in. How are we living and dwelling? So Phenom is kind of this intro into understanding our experience. Again, phenombook.com, PHENOM book.com. Free to read right now. It's all on Google Docs. However, we got to get action going with impeachtrumpnow.org. And the book is called Why Impeach, and it should be out by next week. Whyimpeach.com. So no matter what side of the aisle you're on, this is just, it's written in depth, it's scholarly, it's constitutional sound. It's constitutionally sound. What else do we need to talk about? Just get it when it's ready. Whyimpeach.com. It just explains what you need to know. Answer the question. So we want to build a community, communityconversations.com. We want to gamify things. People going to impeachtrumpnow.org. Get registered to win one of these beautiful t-shirts. Your size. They're cotton, by the way. At least these are. This will be for Joe Bogus. You guys are waiting for Joe Bogus to launch. JoeBogus.com. Okay. Look, guys, I'm stressed. I got so many things going on right now, trying to get a book out, try to launch a movement, reignite community conversations, and hopefully make relove. It's all more than a meme. It's about us stepping up and saying, hey, whatever your position is on one thing or another, let's talk about what's going on. Something's going on. And then you can win one of these great t-shirts. And depending, what your like is and what your size is too. And we have other really cool giveaways. Outside of the tie, I got a couple of requests for. You're going to love the gnomes. What happened to the gnomes? Did they run off? Damn, man. Well, the gnomes ran off. Look there. Come on. So the guy's really going over the top. I didn't make these, but they're available. If there's any left, we have them at picnic tables outside, literally. Go to protestpicnics.com, and you can win one of these. I don't know what more you can ask. Support the cause. Sign the petition, number one. We got to get impeachpetition.com. I'm beginning, some messaging on that. So, again, if you're just tuning in, you're late in the game, but not too late. We've still time to make this a summer of real love. I'm a self-proclaimed social scientist called Dr. Mike. That's my avatar. The website is drmike.org. And look, I want to do my part. I want to leave a long-lasting legacy. I'm having summer vacation with my kids. We'll go on a book tour. We'll have a bit of fun, but this is really important stuff, right? We need to wake up out of the mass trance, the hypnosis of society. Understand, even though whatever position or label or objective or opinion you have, a lot there's the whole thing about it, isn't it? And waking up from the mass trance is key. And we need to do it elegantly so we can be kind of together, kind of going, oh, that's interesting. And we give up the fight. Masstrance.com. Look, in this role of social scientist, I present some ideas. I wish I had the cure and sort of the magic genie would just make things right for all of us. It begins with this, right? I'm very pro-America. I love you. I love America. I feel this is the time. And I care, right? This is the CARES model. I love America and I'm anti-Trump because we can see with our eyes what's going on. This is not the country our founders ever designed or wanted. Whyimpeach.com will explain it in simple terms because it's the Constitution. So you're either for the Constitution and what the founding fathers proclaimed, given that this is the 250th anniversary, or you got another idea. But it's not what the original founders had. Now, maybe you have innovations on things, and we certainly need to evolve our consciousness in a lot of ways if we want to have a desirable, sustainable future. We need to have a CARES model that's considered for everyone. And we're all part of this conversation. But only when you can open it up and accept that, because sometimes we're prejudiced, not knowing that even though we claim to be the victims or somehow labeled in some way that causes us to react in retrospect, it's the matrix, right? So how do we elegantly sort of balance it in a third way or a whole-brained way that we can have an intelligent coming together of dialogue that's dynamic and about democracy? So how that comes together, you can join one, you can facilitate one, go to communityconversations.com, go to protestpicnics.com, and a real easy way to do it, right? You just come together, you have some fun, maybe you have, a guest speaker, or you have some flyers, whatever it would be. You might have a guest speaker, right, that just talks about what's going on. But otherwise, you would have a dialogue among each other, whether you break out picnic table or you sit around a fire or a group or a waterfall, whatever, or one of these idols. That'll work for you. I'm drmike.org, so please support the cause. Go to impeachtrumpnow.org, and my work is to elegantly and in together way, in the best possible way, enlighten as we can so we wake up out of the mass trance.com. All right, I'm Dr. Mike. Over and out. Thank you.